So as Nastran is embedded within Inventor, all of Inventor's navigation tools are available to you. Some of the more common ones make it easier to interact with the model is the view cube up in the upper right corner. So with the view cube, I can click on front. Once I'm on front here, I could click the arrows to maybe flip to the top, click on the arrow to flip to the left. Notice the little rounded arrows, which allow me to rotate the view. I can click on the corner of the box to view an isometric view. And anytime I can click on the home icon to return to the home view. And I can click and drag on the view cube to rotate it. So it gives you some quick access to kind of the standard views of your model. Now, another great way for interacting with the model is your mouse. So with the mouse, what I'm able to do is I'm able to pan. So if I click and hold the middle mouse button, I can pan. If I roll the wheel, I can zoom in and zoom out. And what's great about using the middle wheel is that it will roll in or zoom in and zoom out to where your cursor is. So I'm just rolling the wheel, and you can see it zooming in and zooming out to where my cursor is. If I double click the wheel, it does a zoom all. So basically fits the extents of the visible geometry to your screen. Now if I click and hold the shift key and I click and drag with the middle mouse button, notice I'm able to do an orbit. So as I hold shift and hold down the middle wheel, I'm able to rotate the model. So everything's kind of available to you right in your mouse there. Now looking over here, we have access to those same commands. So maybe you don't have a wheel mouse, maybe you don't have a middle mouse button, maybe you just don't like using it. Well, we have options here to pan. So notice I can click and drag, I can do a zoom, so I can zoom in and zoom out. If I click the little drop down here, I can actually do a zoom all. I can actually do a zoom window where I click and drag a rectangular area and it will zoom to that area. I'm able to do what's called a look at. So a look at allows me to pick a particular face, and Inventor will then look at that face, which is a great tool for when you need to sketch, but it also can be a great tool when you just want to pick a face and make sure you're looking normal to that face. So you can see how that's all available from within the navigation toolbar. Now another place that you can find some navigation tools is the View tab. So from the View tab, what I'm able to do is I'm able to access those same commands as you can see here. So my orbit and my zooms and such like that. But I'm also able to change the visualization style. So maybe perhaps I'd like to see shaded with edges. Perhaps I'd like to see it in wireframe. Perhaps I'd like to see it in monochrome. Remove all the colors from it. Maybe I'd like to see it as a technical illustration. So you can see that there are different options in here for viewing your model. Now just going back to the orbit command, you can see that when we actually launch the orbit command, when I use the mouse, there's no compass. This sphere doesn't show up. Now how this works though is that when you're in the inside of the circle, you get the free orbit. When I move my cursor outside, it becomes like a steering wheel. So then I'm steering it as I go. If I click and drag over the ticks here, what it does is it constrains it. So now it's constrained to the horizontal axes. Here it's constrained to the vertical axes. So it just gives me some additional options to manipulate how I'm looking at the view. And again, you won't get that from the shift middle mouse button, but you will get it by using the orbit command. So those are the most common ways of interacting and viewing your model within Inventor.